That's the wrong one, guys. That's the wrong one. A quick one. But hello, everybody. The screens are fucked. That was the wrong screen. But now we have the right one. And hello, everybody. A-O-A-O. As we going into a lovely tournament today here. As we gonna jump into the WARNO Swiss monthly. As we had a couple of these tournaments in the past. And they were always a lot of fun. And so we decided on making this a monthly series now. And we're gonna have it on the second of each the second week of each month if possible. There might be some shifts around sometimes, but once per month is the plan. And yeah, we're starting here in April with this one-day monthly tournament. And it has a Match Arena page again where you can help crowdfunding it by clicking the claim code button as usual and getting it all up. It's an 18-team tournament this time around. We will have 5 rounds today. And the first map that we're going to be on today is Zombero, which is a new custom map. And that's why I see it here already. Zombero teams being set up by Joker and Mix versus Cam and Drago Tango, who replaces Sneaky. So that's the first one we will get into here in a minute. And it's going to be a lot of fun here. So yeah, they have to load the maps, and we're gonna go into the action. It's a lot of fun. 18 teams, a lot of well-known names in there. We have a look here. We have Berthx and the Wooden Box versus Axis and Hippie. 4 veterans right there. Woe and Skiffic as a hot contender team here for the victory for sure. Versus Critic and Life has lost its meaning. Mordecai and Niashnik Nifurunukul versus 1AB1 and Renegade. Jeremy here, another content creator, and Nocturna versus Stahlbrecher and Aim Doozy, the German connection here with Aim Doozy as a content creator who most likely will upload the replays as well. Chish and Gara there as our Ukrainian powerhouse team here versus Jacko and Spacebird. Yukipo and Blitzwar, the well-known connection as well. Always has performed really well in the past as well as a team. F2, CM, and Tristan. Some new names here. Resnos and Slavia have been doing pretty well in tournaments, in team tournaments before. Even at UB Pirate, I believe, are the first timers. Joker Tard and Mix 90s, obviously a strong Balkans combo there as well. Versus Cam and Drago Tango, and then Warden and Caldenot and Zugrex and Tourney, newer players here that will be in for the first time. Unfortunately, Mr. Chlorite can't join us today as he is a bit sick. Hope he's getting well soon. So we're gonna do it here as a solo cast today. But yeah, once more, you can help out on the Match Arena page. And yeah, I will have. We have a substitution for Axis, as Axis seems to be MIA, so we're gonna get somebody else in there. Whilst I just have, what the hell? We're gonna add Sir Skull in there. Add it to the monthly. And yeah, Mix 90 versus and Joker versus Cam and Sneaky. That's going to be the first game here, or Drago Tango, as they're waiting up. We can have a look into what all of these people picked division-wise, as this time around there are no bans. So it's only picks this time around. It's 4 divisions each. Everybody picked, and they will pick out of these. People asked for this format without bans this time around, so we test this out. We will see how it will go for future rules, but yeah, they just pick, and the first team picks 1, then the other team picks their 2 picks, then the other team picks one out of their 4 divisions again, and you set up with that. So we will see a lot of the top end divisions this time around, but in 2v2, the argument was it might not be as impactful as you can substitute for your weaknesses a bit more. So we will see how it all goes. 56 and 5th plane day, obviously, going to be around a good bit, but we're gonna see how it all goes. It's yeah, we have 5th plane day in here. We have 56 here, 56 here. None of them here. 5th plane day here, 5th plane day here, 5th plane day here. So it's going to be a pretty meta division here. It can be played more than once. It can only be played once per team. So you don't get a lot of 5th plane days fighting against like 4 5th plane days playing each other. But it can be picked more than once. So that's going to be interesting. And yeah, the map we're gonna play is this lovely map here for the first round. The players did vote for which map we're gonna play. They voted on community maps, they voted on the classic maps, and they picked then based on yeah, and they also voted on what the ratio should be. They voted on only one community map. That community map is going to be this one, and I'm pretty hyped for it. Samaro is one of the newest ones, and it is looking pretty interesting. It's a river map. I'm surprised that so many people wanted a river map, but it's an interesting river map. It has quite a bit of crossings. It has a lot of room for maneuver. Though, yeah, the river is going to make things somewhat difficult. And yeah, it's based on a farming town in southwestern Finland. So that is pretty interesting as well. Yeah, in general, I wanted to give a bit more room for these great creations that people have come up with lately in the workshop. Like the map part has blown up nicely in the last month or two, as people have figured out the map editor better, and there are a good couple of good maps here now. Yeah, the Parched Valley, for example, is a new one. The West Fulda ones were some of the first ones, pretty great. I love this thing here. Somebody making War Thunder maps into WARNO, because we all know War Thunder is the best balanced map pool out there. Like, nobody does better maps than Gaijin, clearly. You always enjoy them, and they're always balanced for both teams. And yeah, it's going to be hot action. And with that said, the action is about to start here. So let's see and get into, yeah, into all of this here. And let's get me out of the way. And let's load up the standings. This will be a lot of fun here, as we have first UK, second UK, and first Airborne versus 16th Panzer Division, which is an interesting pick here, and the 11th ACAF. The map here, as you can see, has a decent couple of zones at 11 points. The most important one, for the most part, most likely will be Charlie. You have a +1 point zone on the sides as well. And then you have some rear zones with +2 for all teams. And you have some weird little bridges here everywhere. And yeah, some small connections over the river. A pretty big reservoir over here. And a lot of bridges in the center zone. Like, yeah, 4 bridges here in the center area. And then 1 more bridge up in the north. So this should be a interesting play. Like, as I said, it wouldn't have been my favorite pick out of the possible community maps, but that's what the players voted for. So here we are with a lovely map for this action here. Like, yeah, it's kind of wild that they picked a river map, because usually when you talk to WARNO community, like, and ask them what maps they dislike the most, it's river maps in 80% or 90% of the cases, but not this time around. So yeah, let's see where this all goes. Amphibious action incoming, yeah. This should be good. We have Rover Milans running around. SAS coming in here. Yeah, the forward deployment of 101st plus 2nd UK is better than what the other side can bring. And Joker wants to go deep here. They want to cross the river. They want to get into aggressive positions. That should be pretty interesting. Yeah. Yeah, amphibious action would be lovely, but we don't have much amphibious units in this matchup. Like most NATO divisions don't have any or only a couple. Like I, in the packed side, I guess has it a bit easier here. I love this, by the way. This random red car stranded on the island. You might wonder how it got there. Like, they wonder what other kind of Easter eggs you can find on this lovely map. And find some old telephone booths. And yeah, it's the standard housing that you know from the base model. There, I believe, aren't custom models yet, but it's still looking pretty dope and quite a bit different to what we currently know from the base game. We have a little river here as well that cuts through, one in the north here as well. So this should be a fun one. A lot of helicopters here coming in. Other side is pretty slow to deploy. Australia for life and Drago Tango still having to figure out what to do here with the middle. And yeah, we have scouts here up north. We have Rover Milans coming in. For the balance, I actually am not sure. I haven't tested all the speed positions on this. Like I didn't have time to test all these community maps. I just went with them, and it wasn't the focus on getting the absolutely best balanced maps in here, and I just picked with what the community had to offer in decent sized, decently built with point wise and so on, 2v2 and 3v3 maps. And that's what I put into the votes. I have the feeling like the right side should have a slight advantage, as they just have a lot more buildings than the left side here compared to the right side. But that could be wrong based on the timings. Like, I'm not sure how the timings work out over the bridges. If that is really fully balanced, if the map creator went through the hassle and really made it that both sides reach these bridges at the exact same time, whoever gets there first, obviously, has a massive advantage. Outside of that, that the blue side can get over here is pretty brutal, I think, for the red side. But I mean, red gets a solid bridge up here as well. It might be a bit easier to neutralize them, but as you're really far away as blue here as well, I think red has a decent path in there too. Like I like that system. That both sides have to cross a river back here, but they got a relatively safe river crossing with it early game, here and up here. But if the enemy can push you out, it gets pretty tough to get over it. Like, I like that kind of design of rivers. I like the corner to corner river kind of setup. Like, either do it so that the river splits like this river going fully through would be interesting play as well. We had some Steel Division 2 maps that had that. But yeah, at least make it that the river's crossings are not always dead center. And that, I think, is done well here on the map. And we have some lovely stuff going on here with all of this. We have a couple of nice complexes there. the open fields are pretty standard. It's nothing crazy elevation-wise on this map. Like, we have a couple of other maps that have really funky elevations, but but yeah, it's still some in there, as you can see here. Like, the guy, I believe, used the real geographical data from the area for the most part and just put it in the game. It's working for the most part, as you can see. Like, the flat places here might be a bit flatter than they are in real life, but Finland might just be that flat, to be honest. I have no idea. Like, I mean, there is a bit of a hill here, for example, so guess it might just be that flat around here. And we will get the action going here. So, yeah, deployment-wise, I'm a bit scared for the red side. Obviously, Mix and Joker know what they're doing. They're high-level players. And our two players on the right side, I have no exact idea how good they are. And them starting with a fob as the two divisions that don't really have the best artillery is not an amazing sign to me. Like, this is not 10v10. In 2v2, this still costs you quite a bit. It's not quite as unaffordable as an 1v1. You can go for a fob, but usually that's for divisions that really want to grind, and these two divisions kind of don't. So I'm not convinced that that is the right pick here for this scenario. We have Bradley's coming in around, we have LRS coming in around. Up north, some more of those. The Fusiliers. Like, you have some forward deployment here. I like the idea with the helicopters, but I believe even with the helicopters, you're too slow to get in here. Could get still into these positions, maybe, though. The A109s are pretty fast flying helicopters. They go 270 km/h, so they are really what you want as a transport helicopter. But I still don't believe they will get into the right spots. Like, this is a bit optimistic. So let's see how that goes. Whilst a lot of focus is going towards Charlie here. And on the other side, a good bit more towards Alpha. But yeah, deployment still going on here. So we'll see where this all ends up. It's hard to say where people will get this to. Humvee Delta coming in pretty decent numbers with the Delta forces inside. Obviously, fantastic special forces, especially if you can combine them with the SAS. Like, this is a strong combo. One is really good recon that has a lot of firepower and some good AT, and the other one is going quite nicely as well. The audio is pretty low, so let me just fix that. No, I want to continue. As we can get through this. I have no idea why. I muted the speakers for you guys, but still not bringing anything out. So there we go. That fixes the issue. Now we have your sound. Humvee Deltas coming in. Quick fix coming in. F-16 Eagle in the skies. And we have some Gazelles on top of all of these. The A-10s here. The A-109s. One of them going down. The other one actually might get out. No! Oh, the OH hitting there last second. Yeah, it was over-eager. The OH helicopters really solid as well. They're not quite as good as what you get. Oh, but yeah, this is a disaster in the middle. F-16 at least hits the F-15 Eagle, but gets pushed back as well. Yeah, the Stinger post, not quite as good as the Mistral helicopters for the same price, but still can push back helicopters nicely. And yeah, this Special Forces rush just kind of does the job here right now. SAS are all over the place here in the south as well, and Red side didn't go for Echo, and that's the major mistake. They didn't quite understood what the map wants them to do, whilst Blue absolutely did. They knew they could get over the bridges down here, Red secured a small bridgehead up north, but that's not really enough, and the fight in the middle is going terrible. They lost a good bit amount of transports. This might be one of the faster games here. And yeah, LRS here getting overrun. Martyrs slowly rolling forward. Trying to get in. Pivots coming up as well. Stingers under heavy fire. Engineered Dragons getting slowly decimated as well. The IFV advantage for sure lies with the red side. They have Martyrs. They have the Belgian ones as well, the YPRs. But not a lot of them here around right now. The Foxes actually go to town. This is not going well for the Gepards here. And Bradley's getting shut down in the middle as well. Yeah, this early push did really what it needed to do. And the other side didn't really respect the rush capabilities of 101st plus 2nd UK. 2nd UK here getting through the Gepards now as well. Losing a decent amount of helicopters. The Deltas pushed a bit too far without unloading. And actually got shredded now by the Gepard. So, actually a good amount of blue forces killed here. But it will still be a tough point. Like, these last 40 seconds, 50 seconds were surprisingly strong. But a lot of it was cheap Gazelle rockets. So, even with the kills, it's not the end of the world for the blue side. And they still hold the control of the middle. They still hold the control over the south. And the red side still hasn't realized how close the spawn for blue side is compared to theirs. Humvee AGL set up to push forward. More 13 sitting around. Martyr Milan going to town, getting the kill. That's a hot one. Whilst we have more dismounted troopers slowly rolling up here. Dismounted troopers coming in, reservists coming in, Fox will try to get the kill there. Humvee tow. AFV plugging out. Yeah, the IFV situation might be able to save this, but it's going to be insanely tough at this stage. Already Gepard going down, and the ATGM positionings here are gnarly. It's only a +2, like that's the saving grace on this map, that there's only 3 points in the middle, and the rear points are quite far to reach. You have to push real hard for it. But the red side still is currently struggling. Trying to dodge the ATGMs and trying to get around. Ooh, Delta gets the kill. AOV gets finished off. Delta still firing. Getting a second one killed off as well. And there goes another one. This is not how you push into infantry. SAS plus Deltas there with high accuracy coming around, and you can't throw away your IFVs at this. That's your massive advantage that you get. The other side only having some warriors, which are now coming in. But yeah, the autocannon numbers are the thing that you got. So throwing that away is highly illegal, and is going to end up with you receiving massive punishment. McFizzle here trying to push over the open, but yeah, without the autocannons, they just don't stand a chance against special forces at all. The Deltas even have some long-range damage output with their sniper rifle. They don't have the sniper trait, so they don't go super high on the damage part, but thanks to being special forces, they still do a good job of it. E109 goes down here as well. Reservists getting pushed back, SAS there, trying to hold the line. McFizzle goes down, Humvee goes down, and this game is developing pretty quickly into a bit of a slaughter here against the red side. Rockets, Gazelles coming in against the Fusiliers. They nearly get completely annihilated. M113 has to disengage. As the Humvee line here still holding strong, and yeah, I think artillery plus autocannons, that could have been the way here, but it wasn't endorsed enough. They didn't focus enough onto that part. And going into infantry fights when the enemy has some of the best special forces in the game, that's not a good way to doing it. That's not going to end up well for you. So this is what currently happens to Red. They get an M109 out now, but a single one won't gonna cut it here. A109 going for the repair. Bradley's moving around, and Modders, oh AFV's actually, moving around here as well. But the Arrow Dragon here still holding out. M1A1 ACAP here, holding out nicely against the ATGM wall, but there's still too much there. There's not enough artillery on top of all of it, and down here, Humvee toes come to die again in the ATGM wall. As Pivot gets an Apache ATAS there, so that's strong. Gets out alive. That was a good move. Helicopter gets reloaded, more infantry coming in. But yes, you need something more. The gap arts could have been quite nice, but they were pushed into the wrong spots there, getting killed off by the enemy infantry, and yeah, this was tough. This is a community-created map called Somero, based on a town in southwest Finland, and made by a community, voted by the players as the community map to play on. We will be back to base game division maps afterwards, though a couple of those, especially Albion, that we haven't seen in tournaments before either. So I'm pretty excited for that as well. But yeah, community-created maps really started to pick off lately. Good kill there. 7.6 getting finished off there most likely as well, the M109s. But it would need a lot more of those kind of things to start grinding through this, and it's... yeah, artillery, autocannons, those are things with the M109s and so on that you could potentially really use here to take these engagements. Pivot still doing a decent job there, pushing back the SAS. Not able to finish it off, but doing a decent amount of damage. M1A1 moving around. And reservists coming in here with a lot of clean sides. Not the greatest infantry, but decent numbers. But numbers alone won't cut it against this. Like here you would need some massive artillery barrages, some massive bombing, something like that. Against SAS the bombing part is not easy, so you would have to cut out the SAS first, and so you would need something bombing wise, artillery wise most likely to soften that up. And it's not enough of that on the battlefield. There's one M109 so far, and the casualties on the front line continue to grow. M1A1 smoking off, disengaging. Gazelles coming in. OH-58s moving around. Quick fix slowly flying in here as well. Leo 1ANL, not good for this matchup. Gets one tapped by too many things. Milan 2s, Toe 2s, just one-shotting it. And really not its map. The Arrow Toe 2 goes down, and Milan 1 goes down. And as I said, artillery could be the swinger, but the thing is already escalating quite badly. And that is not helping anybody. Muley Aito getting the kill here. Jaguar trying to come around. We see the Iltis now being hunted. And Milan 1 here got shut down now as well. The trades are going back towards equal, and that is not good enough for Red after the loss they took in the early game. They really need to hit some barrages here, but single M109 is still the only one on the battlefield. And the autocannon numbers is not high enough to really break this here either. Especially not with the line of sights where the enemy can force you into the infantry AT, and those will shred through your light Belgian armor and your pretty light IFVs even on 30US. So you have to struggle here and be careful with how you take those. SAS under fire. Getting down to 3 hit points. Not getting finished off just yet. But at least going a bit lower. AT Jam over here not doing so well. More mortars coming in. But still no big artillery. And the MR10s and reservists, if you just throw them in, they are not cost efficient. They won't do their job. Yeah, sure, they are cheap, but they didn't achieve anything here. And you threw away a minute or so of income just for that. Just for all units to just get shredded there, so that's not really the way either. And the artillery here will continue. HE bomber came around, at least gets it all decimated, but as I expected, died for it. We have an MR7 on the other side now though, so the artillery war is going both ways. And yeah, that's what I feared would happen if you send in any bomber. So seaplane trying to come around. Meanwhile, yeah, the Eagle being pushed back, F-16 seat flying in here towards the middle, but this situation is not developing in favor of red side still. +3 continuing. It's kind of the outcome that was to be expected with Mix 90 and Joker, two of the top 50 players out there going in here. Mix 90 even maybe top 10 player. And on the other side, two players that are relatively new to the competitive scene. And that's obviously an uphill battle. Especially on a new map when you not quite have a plan on how to play it, where you don't really can set up a cheese or anything, and just the base game knowledge kind of gets you through the best. There you are at a big disadvantage. Artillery here coming in now for the cluster as well. 25 minutes, but only 6 minutes with the timer. And even that might go lower if those hits like this cluster one just there continue. The mech rifle fusiliers trying to push forward. More IFVs coming in. Meanwhile, F-16 continuously flying in the back. Doesn't want to get sniped down by some enemy F-15s and a lot of stingers or something. So it's just going around there. And now we have decent amount of forces here. Still trying to push through, but they gave up this point earlier. They should have gotten it from the get-go, and that will lead to some issues as well. Smoke wall here helps out a bit. The pivot does a decent job, but still red units falling here. So still not a big breakthrough, just more of the same here. And yeah, the base engagement taking here and micro from our team in red is not bad, but the whole positioning is somewhat problematic. Lynx rockets coming around. Get some units off. And here we go, Lynx rockets being sold. Mech Fusiliers. Not quite engaging over here, but the Fox does that already. The helicopter here against good AA. Moving in there once more. And an M1IP has entered the battlefield as well. It's losing against the M1A1, but it's a tank. That can be pretty helpful. And you really don't have anything to break through here. Our rifle dragons go down. SAS still chilling. A lot of artillery still raining in, but none of them big caliber. And all of them into weird spots with some smoke and so on. So nothing really here. That is all that great for the red side right now. Infantry over here gets pushed back. Sound situation. They never got into the +1 because they messed it up with the opener. The dab coming around, challenger coming in, and we have a lot of supply cars that could be sent. Okay. Rocket artillery getting involved again. Mortars trying their best, but artillery cleaned up good chunk of forces again, and this is likely not going to end well. AGL getting some engagements here. Now starting to spot back maybe. Mech Fusiliers go down. As the depths go down here. AFV gets destroyed on the other side though. Another one going down, and really this big ball of IFVs that you want to achieve with this division's never really materialized. And without that, Mix 90 and Joker are really hard to beat. Like the positioning on the infantry on the left side is pretty well. Supply truck to get these guys back up would be nice maybe, but infantry push here at the same time in the south, going towards a +5, and even without a +5, even with a +3, it's only 2-minute 40 here, and I don't really see that changing in that time period, as the forces available to the red side are just not numerous and strong enough to achieve that here. Apache rocket. Or, no. Apache with some new stuff here. Getting the reservist killed. Might go for the next one. We have M1 at 7 now on the other side. Plane getting shut down here as well as it tried to get the M1. It's really going from bad to worse quite quickly here. And M1 at 7 outnumbering the enemy artillery. Because red side needs to invest into the front line continuously, whilst blue side has enough stuff there. They have tanks, they have IFPs, they have infantry, and all in good defensive positions. They just can wait for the enemy to come for them and push them with artillery in the meantime, and that's exactly what they do here. 1-minute 20 now, and Mix 90 and Joker seem to be on a good path to clearing the first turtle here, and becoming part of our favorites here. Lynx moving around, MLRS trying to get some kills. Okay, Abrams pushing forward here. Getting shot. Leo 1 got. The Apache still hasn't been finished off here. Cluster Bomber desperately tries to get a run through, not really achieving much. F-16 coming in for the Apache, but most likely is going to die for it as well. At least Phantom on the other side goes down as well, but most likely will the F-16. And this is pretty over situation here for red side, as planes keep on coming, ground forces are there, and the continuous push even until the end gets the job done as well. So we have Mix 90 and Joker coming through here in round 1 and getting the W. Drago Tango and Australia for Life won't be eliminated though, as this is a Swiss style format, so people stay in there and just can't do and can keep on playing, and will play against other teams that lost this round, so they should get a pretty fair matchup as well. And yeah, that's the first game here. And let's have a look into what other games we have going on. As we have a couple more Samaro games. Let's get into this one. As that's Berthx at a wooden box versus Hippie and Skull. So yeah, this is an actual good game about history and not about the two biggest friends of nations falling out against each other. So Berthx and Box here on the right side, coming around with 56 and 25th. On the other side, we have Hippie and Skull. And 56, 25th and 56 is a gnarly combo. Because one has a bit of forward deployment and a shit ton of BMP2. And the other one can just put out the T64 printer. And the box loves the T64. Like, based on Box's calculations, I think the T64 is one of the best efficient tanks in the game. So this one will be nice. And yeah, on the other side, we have 2nd UK again and 2nd Panzer Grenadier. Two divisions that Hippie also claims are right up there, and I tend to agree. 2nd UK especially, currently a really gnarly division. So, yeah, pretty strong pick there as well. 2nd UK and 2nd also both have forward deployment, so that can be pretty tough for the other side here on this map. They also have a decent amount of autocannons. They have martyrs, they have warriors, but not quite as many as the other side, where it's BMP2s all the way. And you get Leo 2s and Challengers, but you get them in limited numbers, so the other side has more tanks there as well. The T62, T64 connections there should be doing a pretty decent job as well. And get the job done there. Whilst we have a lot of pinks here going on, the classic. People want to get anywhere, everywhere. So let's speed it up a bit whilst we get through this. And let's get into the action here. Whilst I put in the results for the other games on the side. A lot of helicopters, a decent amount of helicopters at least coming in. BOs and the Aerobeel Scouts are an interesting one here. The Foxes and the SAS. They actually try to go for goal. This is going to be interesting. Okay, there's a heavy focus on Alpha and Charlie on the other side, so this actually could work out. If this works out, it could be pretty big. I like the risk taking here. MiG-23 MLDs against the F-16 and the Phantom. A pretty fair fight in the air as well. I believe the left side is a slightly favored missile-wise, but not by a lot, and especially not if they come in like this. That's not how you want to take that engagement. It was Berthx microing single versus one fighter each on the other side, and the coordination here on the left side wasn't quite there. Gets a Mi-24 for its troubles though, but F-16 is in trouble here. Could get shot down. Most likely will be by the gun run. Yes, F-16 down, so 2 fighters down for 1 helicopter. That's a trait that you take as Berthx here. Tornadoes and Phantom coming in. They really don't want to give up the air control. Get the kill here in the end. We have annoying stingers on both sides with the Spetsnaz GRU Stinger on the one side, and with the SAS on the other side. The Mi-8 actually going super deep here. That's an interesting play from Berthx. The helicopter actually gets through because the Phantom can't kill it, because the Phantom doesn't have a gun. The SAS will shoot it down in the end, but the guys here will be quite annoying as well. Su-27 dual combo from a box here. 25th has a really good fighter air tap as well, so both sides heavily invested into that air fight, and it's understandable with the amount of little helicopters we got here and infantry on the ground. This makes sense. BMP2 moving around. Motor Strelkies holding all of this, and the northern push didn't quite work out. Fox disengaging. At least they have it the other side contained quite nicely, but there is something going on over here. This is pretty annoying. That AGS could give a lot of intel to the red side. Blue side is on the +2 right now. That is nice. That gives you a decent tick here. And red side still hasn't gotten a CV in here. Blue side is an alpha as well, whilst red side isn't an echo. So red side needs some kills elsewhere, but they are possible here in the middle. BMP2s engaging a lot of infantry, and the infantry can do little, so this might be a troublesome development for the blue side in the middle, but they keep the point tick up for now. We have Coops and Strelas coming out. We have the SUs. So the air part is quite dangerous. M107, that's a good one. Recon infantry getting hit pretty hard. Mi-24 getting shut down. BMP2 not finding the kill down here. SPG-9 goes down, and red side is still struggling with the trades, whilst just being ticked down as well. So blue side is doing a good job so far. BTR-70 and BMP-2 will get the sacks in here most likely. But not the most impactful kill, that's for sure. Lynx coming around, couple more. Question is, can the Reds get a juggernaut onto the battlefield that is just unstoppable for the other side? F-16 here going deep, finding one kill, might find another one here. Not quite, and the Su-27 connection is back on the other side, and that will be the end for that one, as they are just way too strong with the amount of missiles they got to be to miss all the missiles there. They have 20 missiles plus the gun runs, so yeah, not a good shot there. The 14 hit point infantry here is going to be annoying, but it is isolated now. Helicopters all down. Also means that the helicopter can't be sold. BMP2s here trying their best against the Marder 1A3. Get the kill there. So the push with the Soviet plop here doing their job. SPG-9 versus Airmobile Scouts doing a decent job as well. And this is likely not going to end super well for the things on the receiving end of those autocannons. Jäger Aufklärer here will lose this fight as well, so red still with some decent forces on the battlefield, but loses a C-64 Redka here in the south actually. That stinks. Tornado HE coming around as well, though the coup, they should be activated here in a second. Yeah, and that tornado most likely will have a bad time. Yes, there we go. Has to get out. Now it's blue units dying in droves again. MiG-23 not able to finish the job though, and the double SAS up here. Ooh, yeah, gets the kill. That's a good one. Gepard goes down on the ground. Luxus go down on the ground, so blue side still not with the full push through, but the continuous attack here goes on. Airmobile scouts coming in the north. Airmobiles moving into the center. The +1, yes, slowly going up. Su-27s flying through the sky here. Really kind of untouchable now that the tornadoes are reduced. Like, the tornado is a similar fighter. The Phantom is not. And you get 4 of these Su-27s. So that makes engaging them pretty uncomfortable in these matchups. And the Coupe also give them better long-range firepower. There is a potential for Firehawks on the other side, but we haven't seen them yet. A bit easier to usually shoot down with artillery, though the Coupes on the other side haven't moved yet either. Well, both sides here still struggling. It's still a +1 for blue side, and that's the real issue here for the red side, that they might just run out of time whilst the enemy still keeps on ticking. But outside of that, I still think red side has the better shots here for the later parts of the game. We have to get there first for them, but they seem to do okay here. Su-27, pretty stressed out. BMP-2 pushing back the airmobiles. Fox there being pushed back as well. This is all not what the blue side wants here. Dejan Polomachiki versus airmobile. M107s, those are pretty gnarly, but other side has some good artillery as well. For example, the Master S autoloader artillery, so it's not something that we only will see from the left side. M110s in 2nd Panzer Grenadier, they could be quite nasty as well. Artillery on obviously cluster mortar, but Berthx not bringing that one out yet. I feel like that might be a missed opportunity, though obviously the number of vehicles lower than in other decks with 2nd UK and 2nd Panzer Grenadier maybe, but there should still be enough targets there for those guys. We don't see it quite yet though. Ooh, CV has to be careful here. M107 getting his stun. Artillery getting reloaded. Master firing. Cluster mortar here now. Moving around. Let's see where this goes. M107 trying to go for the kill here onto the Belgior T-64B. Would bring it back up to a +2. And yeah, that's Red's real issue here. This cluster mortar, is it going for... No, it's going for the enemy CV here as well. But that's not a vehicle CV. At the Belgior falls, so back to +2 we go. BMP-1 on the way back in. T-64 does survive. The Master not firing into the center. More BMPs coming around. Yeah, the crossing in the north, that blue was able to plug that one and just completely shut it down. That's a big issue now, because red was not able to do that in the same thing in the south here. They are attempting it right now, but T-64 not in position to help the BMP-2s here, and the Leo 185s should do it on this distance, so the BMPs have to disengage for now again. The red side still might have some play in here. Leo 283 is there as well, though. And the center push here, BMP-2s are constantly engaging units here, and the red side has more fire support here. But they don't clean out the town. Cluster mortars did land, or are landing right now, but as I said, they won't do much against the infantry leader there. Master moving around. We have planes, S-25 rockets actually coming around, Tornado and Eyehawk on the other side. As the rockets try to find the Leo 1. But Gepards, Tornadoes, Eyehawks, bit too much there. Coops with the attempt of retaliation, not successful there, and the Su-25 7s flying pretty close here to the Eyehawks and the Gepards as well. And that's a Su-27. Su-25s and Su-27s here getting hit pretty hard. 3 planes down, 1 damaged, with little to show for outside of a couple of cheap helicopters killed off. MiG-23 going a bit deep as well. Gepards will get a couple of shots there on target, and they will be able to push it back. BMP-2D loaded its forces, slowly crawling forward. But the tank here arriving a bit too late. Jaguar is here as well by now. So BMP-2 trying to the Jaguar, T-64B trying to get the swilling. Red really taking some losses there now. The loss of the Air Force, the most punishing. Oh, artillery might finish off this job here though. Jägerführer still under fire. Jägerführer does get out alive. That would have stopped the tick, but it's still going on. 650 points, 27 minutes still remaining. So there's still a lot of time in here, but blue side has a nice advantage. And this map is not an easy one to push, as you can see. It's a river map. Milan 2 holding the line, artillery on the other side, doing a good job. The Mazdas are around now. The Mazdas finished the job this time around. CV pushed out. The cluster mortar hasn't really found its sweet spot yet. The second cluster mortar has entered the battlefield. They could maybe even be used as counter battery. And that would be a big swing. If you are the one with artillery and the enemy loses theirs, then you are in a massive advantage, but that hasn't happened here just yet. Terrier Pioneers are holding on in the center. As I said, blue side still took a decent amount of losses here. Red side still has a good amount of play in it, but the push that they were hoping for is only slowly materializing, and the artillery on the other side could have something against that. Master S from the other side trying to get some kill into some infantry. Lynx Hellarm pushing forward in some good spots. MR10 can't quite go for the Strela. Could go for something else here. EGS getting involved here. Yes. The amount of infantry for blue side. Blue side might lose the middle. That would give red side a bit of a tick here. Tornado HE coming in. There is too much AA here, most likely for the Tornado to survive. Though, as I said it, the Tornado doesn't get hit by much yet. But the Coops both get a missile out again, and it gets out alive. Wow. Okay, that was unfortunate. The bombing run, though, not as impressive as I thought it would be. But yeah, 4 Cube missiles not hitting, some Igla missiles not hitting. That for sure wasn't the luckiest time for the red side. 700 points on the scoreboard. Warriors trying to push in here, but there's too much firepower on top of them. Getting stunned down. There is room for the planes in the north, but both sides not focused on that one really. Whilst down here, the zone is red again, but blue side still has a big bridgehead on the other side of the river down here that could explode. Like, this is risky with this amount of AA right in front of a good couple of Leos and stuff without any real units in between. The rover might still get pushed out of here. 23 minutes still remaining, so this push absolutely could work. And yeah, more and more units here pushing forward. Rover CP. And fire. SAS gets in here. But the most important part is this around here. The Mazdas, are they firing into the center? No, they're focusing on the SAS. Tornado HE gets out once more here. But we have a lot of Superis, Motostrelkis, MTLBs crossing the river. The old school style. Cluster mortars. Going for the counter battery, but the M107 are moving, so that's a good idea. Whilst the rover and its infantry directly surrounding it are not the target here. More and more warriors coming in. On the other side, big cluster. Not finding a connective hit though. Mostly going into the emptiness of central Germany. Whilst warriors maybe a bit overeager here. With the Challenger this might go better. But the warriors getting decimated. They get a couple of kills there as well. Though you don't have endless supplies of warriors, and if the enemy then can just keep up the BMP2 printer, that would still be risky. I don't get why they didn't snipe out to try to snipe out the CV tank here. Or CV vehicle, actually. And get up to a tick. The 20 minutes still to go. Whilst we have some challengers down here, and as we're in a bit of a time constraint, we're gonna go here with a bit of speed up. HE tornadoes coming around, getting a decent hit. Javelins in good numbers here on the battlefield. Phantoms flying around. The northern part, it's not working out just yet. For blue trying to get in there. That would be most likely the nail in the coffin if blue could get that +2 zone for just 2 or 3 minutes. But red finally gets them out of the middle. Right afterwards, losing 2 T-62s here though. 2 artillery. Warriors and Leos here still doing a job. But the cluster mortar just keeps on raining down now. Southern situation is okay, but blue could potentially sneak a new CV in there as well. But yeah, the northern one is the really unfortunate one. 2 BMP2s, they're doing the job, but that's what you want them to see. Artillery here now hitting a lot of units. Cluster mortar doing its finest. Whilst Master S is rolling around here as well. HSFs and Terrier Pioneers. Potential victims here for some more artillery, though at the same time, with the artillery keeping up the pressure from the rear, the front line is trying to keep connection as well. And there are some heavy losses here lately. Warrior Milan going down, but a lot of other units went down here on the red side. G not getting through. The artillery currently silent on British side. Lynx Vito chilling down here in the south. This bridgehead here, that this is not used, I find is a bit of a waste for blue side, but they get the CV back into the center. And yeah, red side has to get through this. And there's just so much stuff there. The cluster mortars have days for weeks. Have work for weeks here. Coop coming in. A lot of T-62s rolling in as well, but both sides here still in a bit of a stalemate. Red finally comes out with an explosive push in the north though. A lot of forces here, including a lot of AGS 17s, Mi-24s, Strela 10 went over the river here as well with all of that. Amphibious push really coming in here. And these guys pushing deeper in. A big Air Force attack here though. Tornadoes, HEs, getting a decent run. More rockets coming around as well. Only one Phantom going down, and this push looked cool, but it might get shut down pretty quickly. Blue side still 500 something points advantage, so red side needs to get more things done here. Mostrelki on the fire, 695 points. Lynx alarm. A lot of Strelas. Whilst the artillery keeps on coming, and the air as well. Not enough AA here to keep this whole thing clean. Su-27's lost earlier is pretty painful. Belojor goes down. That was trying to come around over here. Whilst AGS go down. Dejant Redvedka, Motostrelkis, all not doing so hot. M110 in the south. Trying to go for some kills here. Maybe opening up the push for this whole shenanigans again. As the Challenger in the center. It's still alive. It's pretty low. It could use some repairs. And maybe some movement. For the cluster mortars come in on top of it again. Though they are actually hitting elsewhere. The infantry didn't quite do it here for Berthx and a wooden box. And yeah, now it's only 11 minutes. Like, I talked earlier about how it all was 27 minutes still, and there was still time. That has changed since. 11 minutes is not a lot for 500 points difference on a map like this that is slow and all. So they should feel the heat here now. And we gotta see if they can push it further. Big hits here in the center. Pioneers. New CV coming in immediately. This cluster mortar keeps on falling. Oh, nice side shots here as well. The vehicles of red side never got through. And the grinder really keeps on going. Cancer Grenadier under attack. Is there CV set up for push in the south? Not yet. That is something that blue should do. Just so that they have a last minute reaction. Oh, tornadoes this time around. Coop finally finding hits. Coop's finally finding kills. Strelas getting another tornado there. Tornado HE going down. We in the same side. See a tornado here in the north. Ryuza desperately trying to get it shut down, getting it down, so the tornado wave at least, that is out now, but it's also only 9 minutes here, and they got its bombs off again. So the infantry fight is not having a positive development. The artillery is surprisingly silent lately. The mortar is constantly firing, but the Mazdas, they are not. And we have nice hold here by Berthx in the center. BMP2s and co might come up. T62s here. Finally might be able to break through, or at least get the center zone.